I'm back, AK47, over at Deckmar Trades via Tradecaster.com. Josh Smith Official, Prime Trading here on Instagram and YouTube. It is Thursday, June the 24th, and join me live tomorrow as I take over for the man, Sean Deckmar. That's right, I go live every Friday for the man. Have over 1,000 members in chat. Head over to Tradecaster.com, get you a free trial. Now let's get into today's lesson and recap. I shouldn't say lesson, but today's recap of kind of the day, which is a Thursday. Let's go over yesterday, which was kind of one of the hotter days we've had in a while. We've had hit or miss days, but Wednesday, June 23rd. Shout out to Leon Matthews. It was your birthday. So what I saw early on in the morning, as you can see right around here, I'm going to leave it to about right here. Let's get right to my alerts. I was in early. I've been loving chat. It's been a little bit hotter lately, so I want to kind of get in chat and start getting my alerts in. So we see the nice, the news comes out. This moves from like the 460-ish area straight up to about 660. So about a $2 move, right? Regardless, loving the move, loving the uptrend, this nice little uptrend at the open. Watching for this, what? The trend line play. You can see I immediately have it in already, and I'm looking for this, and I'm already calling out in chat. As you can see where I'm calling it out. Right now, it's at 21 after. So at 21 after right here, what? It's at 635, right? So I'm calling out in chat. I'm just keep alerting. ENTX was my play, looking for the trend line bounce, right? And of course, I'm alerting $7, just alerting it in chat. So I want you to see already, though, in pre-market, what I'm looking for. ENTX, VWAP, trend line lining perfectly up together. That's kind of the area I was looking up early on, right? I was looking for that early on. And then even again, at 26 after, as you can see right here, at 26 after, I'm saying, hey, waiting for a pullback, in this area at 26 after. Come on, just give me a sharp pullback. And it, is not. And then, of course, if this holds this area, this, could take off at the open, which did take a small little takeoff, but it didn't push as much as I thought it might, which I'm glad it didn't. So in the end, and again, here we go right at the open. ENTX, this pushes, blah, blah, blah. I'm waiting for a pullback. Here you go, team. Gap and go at the open, which was a little gap and go. It started pushing. I thought it was going to keep going. It didn't. And then I was like, hey, wait for a pullback, right? Trend lines, team. Trend lines. Put them in. So I'm already showing you where your trend lines are at. Upper trend line bounce here. So here's where the upper trend line that you can see that we start forming right here. So here's what I call a starter. So this is where you see the start of it, right? Then this is your setter. This is where you have to set in the trend line. So now you have the first little area that we have no idea at this time. It's just coming down and bouncing, right? Now when it comes down and actually bounces right here, it holds and pushes up, we've got to put a line in right here. This is our trend line, right? And especially when it holds and squeezes off of it. Now this is called what we call overextending off of the trend line. And so this is going to be our starter on the new said trend line that we're about to create. So this is the starter and now the setter. And now we're running up this trend line right here. So now this is a new trend line. And right around here, I have it set in. And you can see that's why I was alerting two trend lines. So eventually saying, hey, here's your, trend line bounce. Okay, that's 30 after. My trend line's a 645 team, so I'm still alerting my trend line, right? Upper trend line bounce. It has two trend lines, letting everyone know where they are. One's around 690, one's around 645. Here's trend line bounce again on upper trend line, so it was really testing, which I was loving, right? I was like, keep testing, please. And then 645 bounce back to VWAP. This is my play. Like I'm already alerting in chat at 32 after, 33 after, right? I guess that was 33 after probably when that one was alerted. Right here, I'm letting people know I'm waiting for this to pull back, even through the VWAP. An old trend line. Like I was going to take that, but I didn't want that to the VWAP, an old trend line. But of course, at that time, it was such a separation. I wanted this as my play back to the old VWAP. Lower shadows here on upper trend line. Sometimes may push now. Right here, look at those push. Those upper shadows. And it did get a quick little push. I was like, I swear, here I go. I'm going to miss what? I'm going to miss my entry. And then whammy, just like that. I mean, everyone sold, took their shares. It's literally cracked just like that to the VWAP. Now, to me, it's because someone said it was on there or whatever. I was like, it was in between trend lines to me. And then everyone in the end kind of gave me the GOAT status of saying, yeah, okay, let's go with AK's. Even Deck changed his over. Let's go with AK's trend lines. And so still, here's my lower trend line. So I'm still letting people know my lower trend line is around 645, right? And that was around, 36 after. Now I'm still waiting. Watch for a pullback. Here I am at 38 after. Where was 38 after? So I'll try to get to 38 if I can. Okay, that's fine right here. So 38 after. We're on it right now, right? Watch for a pullback to bottom trend line for quick bounce. I'm letting everyone know. Watch for this to still pull back real quick to the 6.5 area. So I'm still waiting for it. ENTX still waiting for the dip. I'm alerting at 39 after. Still waiting for the dip. And then, Deck does his classic Cartman voice, which was great. And then boom, whammy, when this finally comes down, because I had two orders filled here, or I had two orders here. I had one around the trend line around this, or right below it if we did get a lower shadow, because this was kind of close. I was thinking we might get a quick little lower shadow like 647. So I had one at 647, then I had another one above it in case we did get filled there at 655. This came down to what's the thing? It came down to 654. What did it come down to? It came down to 654. My top entry of 2,000 shares got filled, whammy. Got filled there. I think it was 1,000 shares. Whatever it was, 2,000. It was 2,000 shares. So I had two 2,000 shares entries. It came down real quick, got filled. It probably, and again, got lucky there by putting my order above. But that's what you do sometimes, put order entries above and below because you don't know if you're going to get filled there. And that's exactly where I got filled, right on the trend line, essentially, right? Because I knew it was going to get close to this trend line. And these lower shadows, when I started seeing that, was another inkling to me like, hey, you better put something above here. It's not going to get filled. My order may have been 657, actually, now that I think about it, because I love sevens. I think I went 647, and I went 657, I think is why. I went those two, the 10 cent gap there, plus I love sevens. That's just me. Me and my John Elway, and just a lot of people love seven anyway. So anyway, still waiting for the dip, and then whammy, got filled right there, and it wasn't 654. That's what I thought it was. I think it was 657. I'm pretty sure it was 657. I was just so, and then again, that's why I'm trying to let people know in chat. I'm trying to type so fast so people can get my alerts, know when I'm in, know when I'm getting out, and then, I mean, look how fast this shot up. Whammy, it was right up into the VWAP, and I was going to start selling right here. This happened so fast, I almost couldn't, but essentially I saw it happen so fast, like, oh, whoa, okay, and then I sold right here. Into this upper shadow, came down. I think my exit was like 702, 703, something like that. It wasn't the best of exits, because I saw this upper shadow and I sold. But of course, the spread, how fast it came down, how fast that moved, it was really moving there. So you can see I kept alerting, waiting for the pullback, still waiting at 38 after, 39 after, I'm waiting. Then finally it comes down at 41 after or 40 after on the dot, and I get my move, right? And of course, going over ORPH, another crazy mover. And again, it didn't. ORPH didn't, and I will look at this. This is another one I want to get into, team. And this is, I guess this is going to be the next one. I guess I'm done with my ENTX trades there. I thought I had a couple more left. I guess I do not. I thought I had a couple more of the ENTX areas, but I guess I do not. The only other one I do have, I guess, is later on. But of course, I sold. This went up into the halt up. I sold most of my shares right there. I sold 1,000 right there, another 500 here, and I went 500 in the halt up and sold that into like as soon as it opened. Essentially, I was done. Right? And then there was later on 941. 941. What's this hitting my VWAP area? 941. Okay, right here. So I guess there was an alert that I just missed on ENTX right here. ENTX back through VWAP. This could happen, but yeah, that was of course earlier in the day. I was hoping to become kind of like ALF, but ENTX hitting my target VWAP area. Oh, trendline bounce. Okay, that was the second trendline bounce. I forgot about that. I guess I didn't get the alerts in for some reason. I thought I took the screenshots. Maybe I didn't. I guess maybe I didn't. I thought maybe I did. I did not. So fully out now from trendline bounce. That was, of course, this is later on. So that was, yeah. And I guess I didn't screenshot those. I thought I did like a, sorry, yeah, I was trying to find some. That's why I did a little pause right there. I guess I don't have any. I was like, I kind of swore I did somewhere. At least I showed the timestamp like this of like, earlier where I alerted the trendline bounce. But let me show you why, essentially why I got in again. So my earlier alert showed you why I was waiting to get into my trendline bounce. Why this overextended. Same move again. It overextends. So I'm just waiting for this to come back down to the trend line, knowing like earlier, this is over. It's super overextended. So by the time we come down to this again, traders are going to come in here and buy this up, right? So I know traders are going to come in. They're going to buy, even if it comes back up to 720, I'm happy with that. I just want to get a trade in, right? I know this is going to work, so I want to get a trade in. Entry at 7, you know me, I love 7, so I'll put another 2,000 share order in at 7, another one just kind of right below it in case we do get a lower shadow, but I'm kind of thinking, there's really no point, but I'll do it just in case. Sure enough, comes right down like 697, so I got filled on this candle. Right here, know I'm good when this shoots straight back up. I sold, I think 1,000 of my shares somewhere in here and held, just holding, waited for this push back up to VWAP, and then thus back to this again, hitting my target VWAP here. And I cannot believe I didn't take any screenshots of that, but that was my goal. Wait for the trend line bounce, and at best, and here's why. Not only VWAP, you see this consolidation earlier, so maybe you get to 730 area, right? 730 would be good, but if you get to VWAP or anything close to 750 to 760, where you see this just consolidation of just resistance that will be, and you can see it try to work our way up there. 7.5 is about as high as we got. So when I took the rest of my shares here at 741, 941, I remember seeing the alert right here, and I was taking the rest of most off, boom, you can see down to 250. Oh, it was 1,000 shares. So it was just, so I put a 1,000 share order entry at, guess I did at $7. I did 1,000 shares right here because it's getting a little bit later on in the day. I kind of do remember that now. It's finally falling down, which makes sense. And I will kind of go over that. Earlier in the day, you want to get that first true bounce off the trend line. You can see what happened off of it. Plus, it was kind of a downtrend squeeze too. You see the downtrend being created, squeezed out of that, plus through the VWAP. That was like a triple whammy awesomeness going on there. Trend line bounce down Trend line bounce, downtrend, breakout, squeeze through the VWAP. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, whoa, triple whammy there. So that was great to go into, to get that. But later on, it's hit that upper shadow. It's really fallen off now, about $2 from the high of day. Be a little careful as the day goes on, right? Go smaller shares. Now, when you see it start spiking up, feel a little bit more confident, the play is a little bit more bullish, then you can go a little bigger. But of course, there you can go, just to kind of show you what my thoughts were right there. So I did only go 1,000 and 1,000, only got the 1,000 filled, trimmed my way up. Finally took my last little bit there at the VWAP, which that's all I was wanting. That's the main thing I was looking for. And then watch for push over VWAP to 765. It didn't get that. And that's kind of where it fell off the rest of the way there. And it really didn't do too much the rest of the day. It had those lower shadows that just killed it off. Like, look at that. And look how, too, when you put the old trend line in, leave it in, team. You do get another bounce later on. Look at my second bounce. So I got 2 bounces off the trend line off this yesterday. 2 great trades. Got over $1,500, close to $1,500 between the 2 trades, right? But look at this, whammy upper shadow. See this upper shadow, or I should say the upper shadow, before the upper shadow. I love saying upper shadow all the time. But first the resistance at the trend line, or I should say the VWAP, right? So we have the trend line bounce up to the VWAP resistance. So there's the key going, wow, the VWAP really held there. Then we crack said trend line. So when we push back up, we have double whammy resistance here. Old trend line up. We've got to keep that old trend line up, teams. Keep that in. That's what I'm saying. You'll get your first bounce, then you can get a short out of it, but then you can realize we can get another short out of it, because this will sometimes, 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, when this pushes back up to old said trend line, and then you have the VWAP there where it just failed earlier, look at that upper shadow on it. I'm getting a little tighter, but then again, VWAP fell, trend line fell. Again, VWAP fell, trend line fell. So notice that double whammy resistance there. First came from showing a little bit of resistance from before we couldn't hold, then resistance. Then we cracked it. So then we have this old trend line up, which is definitely going to show some resistance if we don't get any volume in there. And look at the biggest candles. They end up being red candles, selling, right? So traders came in, took their profit, everyone sold. Everyone came in, took their profit here, tons of people sold, and that's what really killed it off. Back below this, $7-ish, essentially, $6.95, what do you even call it, support that it had forever, and then that became resistance where it could not get back over that later, as you can see. So use that, right? Old support becomes new resistance. Old support becomes new resistance. Or sometimes, of course, old resistance becomes new support sometimes, right? Old resistance became new support here for the bounce down here, right? But then later on, when old support becomes new resistance, can flip-flop. So remember that. Let's get to yesterday's other big trade, ORPH, that I want to get into as well, and my great alerts on it. ORPH, and then, of course, you can see the trend line there. Let's get into the first alerts on ORPH. So I see this kind of spiking up earlier in the day, so let's just kind of get to it and zoom in a little bit there. I doubt ORPH goes full ORPH today, right, from a couple weeks ago, but keep it on watch for a move to 875. There's my first alert at 922. So at 922, when this starts spiking, not even to 7 yet. It's not to 7 yet. I'm like, man, over 7, this is looking good. Over 7, this is looking real good. So ORPH, at 624, right here, new high of day, whammy, right over 7. I missed my entry. So on this pullback right here, boom, I was in, and I was alerting 875 top target. I was already alerting that. 22 after. At 22 after, when this is in the 680s, 670s, right here in this candle, I'm alerting, watch for a move to 875. 926, I'm in now. Didn't alert, and I forgot to alert, and I forgot to tell the team, but eventually I did tell them, like, sorry, team, I'm just, busy to actually trading, worrying about trading, forgot to put it in. But been alerting, team, 875 top target, that's kind of our target, right? ORPH then gets the mob shift from ENTX, right? So then gets the mob shift from ENTX. Oh, here comes some alerts. There's the ENTX bottom trend line at 690. So there's where I was one of my alerts, and I'm sure there may be more coming, but we'll see. ORPH, that was a top target, 875. Kept alerting it. Then here we go. It's kind of the same alerts up top, but then here we go. ORPH, target, 875. Here we go, team, 875. So now we're at 29 after. Look at this start taking off. Almost straight to $8, and this is where I took some off. Here we go, team, 875, let's go. Just in 500 shares, 707 entry. ORPH, let's go. Here we go. I was telling the team, let's go. 829, that's finally when I can finally alert. And I think it was right when the candle, you could see that was the first alert. Or one of the first alerts, so there was a couple in 829, so you get my point. That was right when the candle opened. Finally, I have a chance to go, hey, team, I'm in. Been alerting 875. Here we go, and boom, right here at 30 after, I took some off in this candle. I took it off. I saw like 795, 7 whatever, and I, boom, just took some off. I think the exit was like 791, something like that. Wasn't the greatest of it. It wasn't the top, but it was close to the top at the time. Take it. And then here we go, ENTX. There's another alert on the trend line, team, so there's where I'm telling them. I was in on 2 trades at once there. So there's ENTX, ORPH, kept alerting. ORPH kept alerting, right? Was saying, here we go. There's ENTX. There's going in both. There, of course, I may have been alerting ENTX. I had to have been beforehand. But ORPH, and then there we go. Watch for flag pop here to high of day at 43 after. So 43 after, it's kind of got this flag here. It came down and held the 730 area. Old resistance, right? Equals new support. Came down and held. So we have our starter. Then we have our setter. So now we have a trend line set there, too, on top of the fact. And there we go. And then at 43 after, this is why I'm alerting right in this area. Right here, right before it happens, right? Right here. I guess it's about to happen, or it's happening. Watch, and actually, because it was the first alert. So watch for flag pop, wedge pop to high of day area. Whammy. Look at this. Right as I'm alerting it. ORPH, here we go. I mean, right on time. And then here we go. In the next minute, we're popping a new high of day. ORPH. I guess I thought maybe I took some more, but okay, here we go. Regardless, there we go. I guess it did. Did it halt up there? Nope, didn't halt up, but then we just kind of wiggle-waggled in this, but almost straight to 875. Here we go, 54 after, I guess, because I did want to just show you. But there's the move, and I was done. OR got it, team. There's my first alert. Down it goes, ORPH a couple of weeks ago, but watch them move for 875. Hit all the targets within about 30 minutes, and then it kept rolling. Then it rolled, I thought it was going to hit maybe 10. Rolling past my target, went to 935, and I said, hey, after this, if we keep pushing, your next target, of course, is going to be that $10 area. Didn't quite get it, but there you go. There's my alerts from yesterday. ORPH, right? Beautiful alert early on, right in here, this area at 23 after, saying, hey, watch for move to 875. That's a $2-ish move from where I alerted it. I got in and got part of about a $1.75 move, a $1.70-ish move in the end on about the 250 shares that were, or 100 shares that were remaining, of the 500 that I got in. That's fine, right? But again, just see these things, notice these things. Come over to chat and get these alerts. But yeah, that was a $2 move. We got perfectly straight to it. I mean, boom to boom right there. ENTX, beautiful trend line play yesterday, right? And then you get the trend line crack. And of course, today not doing too much. Today, beautiful alerts on bond, BON, right? Had a couple alerts on this earlier on, but there just to kind of show you what the crazy moves we had on BON. What was the other mover for today? DBGI. This was the trade that I got into earlier today. Looking for that, the central VWAP bounce on this pullback. Quick little in and out trade. Some of these trades, sometimes you just kind of have to get in and out of these. And once the upper shadow, I saw that form, I was waiting for a pullback. It didn't halt down right there. And on that move, right when it hit that VWAP, I mean, perfect VWAP bounce. I got in around $6 because I didn't get right on the VWAP. Which is fine. I just market ordered in. I was going to see if this held first, and that lower shadow, and it came flying up. Boom, I just market ordered in and just took it kind of straight up for a quick little in and out trade. But we're starting to get some volume back. We're starting to get some momentum back. The plays like VINO, that kind of, which we can go back to like dailies, if we want to, we can kind of see they spike and then they've kind of given back gains. And even recently, again, like that was early in the year, but this is more recently, sorry, so you can see what I'm talking about actually. But they spike and then they don't continue to run. We're finally starting to see some stocks kind of at least run a little bit more, hold their gains, move, like ALF, the continuation here. Had a nice little move earlier, but ALF didn't really get to move. Oh, ALF was the other good alert I had in chat today too. I had the VWAP bounce, didn't take it myself. Played DGBI's VWAP bounce because you could see, not VWAP, which that was a good bounce eventually, that almost got there, but 1265. I had that alert though, 1265, pulled that up. Right here, that was, finally came down to it. I said, watch for the run if we go to pull back too. And we actually did. We got a lot of huge red candles there. And I remember Active Trade even asked me, hey, did you get filled on your 1265? And I said, I actually didn't even trade it. I was done. Today's kind of sketchy. Things are going up. They're going down, not holding their gains really. A lot of volumes kind of going, mob shift all over. It's just nice to see. But don't forget, it's AK47 over at Deckmar Trades via tradecaster.com. I go live tomorrow. So join me for these alerts. Come over to tradecaster.com, get you a free 7-day trial, or just come over and subscribe. It's awesome. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Josh Smith Official, Prime Trading on Instagram and YouTube.